Hi, everyone. I'm Rick Barron, your host, and welcome to my podcast, That's Life, I Swear. During the recent devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria this past February, thousands of volunteer software developers were using a crucial Twitter tool to search the platform for calls for help, including from people trapped in collapsed buildings, and connect people with rescue organizations. That Twitter tool today is currently free. Now, Elon Musk is planning to charge a monthly fee for Twitter's API tool to help generate revenue. What problems could arise from this decision? Will it even succeed? Let's jump into this. Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur behind companies like Tesla, SpaceX, and The Boring Company, is widely known for his ambitious plans and, shall we say, unconventional business strategies. Since taking over Twitter in October of 2022, Elon Musk has turned the company upside down. The man has laid off half the workforce and periodically throws a few more out the window, those who don't buy into his thinking of how to run the company. One employee has said, "We haven't seen much in the way of long-term strategies." The ongoing chaos makes it less likely that Musk will ever recoup the $44 billion he spent to buy Twitter. Not achieving this goal may eventually move the company into a slow death and decline into solvency. Twitter employees today are working 24/7, trying to find ways to come up with ideas to open up a stream of revenue. Achieving the revenue goal is even harder now that advertisers have walked away, which was once a key contributor to Twitter's revenue cookie jar. Knocking on the door of the banks that Musk borrowed $13 billion to partially fund the deal. Now the company will have to pay massive interest payments, which, by the way, is $1 billion in annual interest payments. Now those payments exceed Twitter's disclosed cash flow, which amounted to about $1.1 billion as of June of 2022, according to financial disclosures Twitter made before Musk took it private on October 27th. Now, as of yet, there's no sound eureka, I found the solution to our financial problems. Elon Musk wants to nickel and dime Twitter users for features that were once free. And as mentioned, one such freebie is Twitter's API service. Recently, Twitter announced its plans to charge for the use of its API, which means Application Programming Interface, which allows developers to access and use Twitter's data to build their own applications. This move has been seen by many as one way for Twitter to generate revenue and increase its profitability. The cost for this planned monthly fee is aimed around $100 a month, a cost where, for many volunteers and nonprofits on shoestring budgets, it's just not possible. Now, while this move has the potential to generate some pretty good significant revenue for Twitter, it also raises a number of questions and concerns about the potential drawbacks and consequences of this decision. Would such a decision fly with Twitter users? So what is Twitter's API? Now, from a technical perspective, the Twitter API is a set of programmatic endpoints that can be used to understand or build the conversation on Twitter. This API allows you to find and retrieve, engage with, or create a variety of different resources, including the following: tweets, users, spaces. In short, this API saves an enormous amount of time to analyze Twitter data because the sheer amount of information just makes it impossible for a human to go through it by hand. Now, we talked about the potential problems. Let's talk about some of those. The Twitter API is currently one of the most widely used and accessible social media APIs, and has played a key role in developing many popular apps and services, including TweetDeck, Hootsuite, and Sprout Social. By adding a monthly fee to access the API, Twitter could potentially make it more difficult and expensive for smaller developers just starting out to build applications and services using Twitter's data. Another potential problem is that the fee could lead to a loss of innovation and creativity in developing new Twitter-based applications. Many of the most successful Twitter apps and services have been created by small, independent developers who could experiment and iterate quickly without the burden of high costs or bureaucratic hurdles. Another possible issue is the reduced data quality. Twitter's API is currently free and open to everyone, which means that a wide range of developers and applications are using the data. While this can lead to a lot of innovation and experimentation, it could also lead to inconsistencies and errors in the data. While Twitter has the right to charge for access to its data and API, many developers and users may feel that the move is unjustified, particularly if they feel that the quality of the data or the service provided by Twitter is not worth the added cost. This could potentially damage Twitter's reputation and lead to a loss of users and customers. And in the end, developers may choose to use other social media platforms that just don't charge for their API service, rather than paying to use Twitter's data. So the big question, will this succeed? The success of Twitter's new fee for the API tool will depend on several factors, including the price, the data's quality, and the level of demand from developers and users. If the fee is too high, it could deter smaller developers and lead to a loss of innovation and creativity in the development of new Twitter-based applications. If the quality of the data is not up to par, developers and users may see there's no value in paying for this access. Additionally, if the demand for the API tool is not high enough, Twitter may not be able to generate enough revenue. Now, there are several reasons why the new fee could succeed. For one, Twitter has a large and loyal user base, which could help to drive demand for the API tool. Additionally, Twitter has already demonstrated an ability to generate revenue from its data and API with companies like Dataminr and Gnip, which was purchased by Twitter in April of 2014, and these were companies that paid for access to Twitter's data streams. This suggests that there is a market for high-quality Twitter data. While I understand that Musk is looking under every rock to generate a sound running model to bring in revenue, I think there are some rocks he should just leave alone. To charge for data access would be a huge setback for humanitarian aid organizations, disaster report teams, and groups working to improve the common good and save lives. Other social media platforms don't have the reach and real-time updating and geolocation features of Twitter. Elon Musk's plan to charge a monthly fee for Twitter's API tool has the potential, but it's a huge gamble. Rolling the dice has always been Elon's method of operation. Time will only tell. What can we learn from this story? What's the takeaway? Overall, Twitter's plans to charge for the API service has both pros and cons for its customers. While it can improve the quality of the applications that uses its data, generate revenue, enhance security, and provide better support for developers, it can also result in higher costs, decreased innovation, limited access to data, and increased competition. To earn and keep the trust of Twitter users that are still sticking around, Elon may want to reconsider this idea. It's just a thought. Well, there you go. That's life, I swear. For further information regarding the material covered in this episode, I invite you to visit my website, which you can find on either Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, for show notes calling out key pieces of content mentioned and the episode transcript. As always, I thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe here or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss an episode. See you soon.